only about 5 or 10% of men actually do have more than one wife. Co-wives fight. They'll even poison each other's children. The human animal is not built to share. You have to have a lot of goats, or a lot of cows, or a lot of land, or a lot of money to build a harem. We are basically a species that forms pair bonds, monogamy, mono meaning one, gamma meaning spouse, one spouse. We're also adulterous. In fact, in nature, you often see whenever there is monogamy or pair bonding, you also see adultery. They go hand in hand. So I do think that one of the biggest 21st century issues is going to be the way each one of us decides to balance our drive to commit and our drive for autonomy. I think those are the two great, one of the great problems of this century. I began several years ago to try to understand the human reproductive strategy, human mating habits. I and my colleagues have now put over 100 people into a brain scanner. The first 17 were people who were happily in love. The next were 15 people who had just been rejected in love. And the third group, major group, were people who were in love long term. And we found activity. First of all, this is our brain scanning study. You can't get two people in a brain scanner. The New Yorker seemed to think so. This is what the scanner actually looks like. And in fact, we found in all of our studies activity in a tiny little factory near the base of the brain called the ventral tegmental area. And this is a brain region that actually makes dopamine, a natural stimulant, and sprays it to many brain regions that gives you the elation, the focus, the energy, the possessiveness, the motivation, and the craving for another human being. I study poetry. I think it is one of the great artifacts of the human mind. And everywhere in the world, people talk about love. And I think of all of the poems, quotes from about romantic love, perhaps the very finest was done by Plato in the Symposium when he said, "The God of love lives in a state of need." It is a need. It is a craving. It is a homeostatic imbalance. It is a motivation system that evolved millions of years ago to win life's greatest prize, which was a mating partner. So I want to show you some of my newest slides on that, made by my brain scanning partner, Lucy Brown. This is the parts of the brain that is the most primitive, the reptilian brain. And romantic love, the VTA is right around there. This is where all the survival mechanisms are orchestrated: thirst and hunger and romantic love. It's as powerful as thirst and hunger. It lies right next to a brain region linked with the sex drive. It's not in the same area. The sex drive really emanates from the hypothalamus, but it's right next door. And I think what happens is the sex drive evolves to get you out there looking for a whole range of partners.